How is everyone doing today? It is August 26th of 2022. We've been kind of short on time lately and stuff like that. We got a lot of tomatoes that are going really, really well that we were hoping to sit down and do a taste test on. So we're just going to try to run this video up really quick. This one is the Barossa Moon. If you look at it back up a little bit. This plant's been crowded in a tiny space, but is still producing hordes of tomatoes in here. To be honest, me and Angel have already tried it. This tomato is called the Dwarf Barossa Moon. We've only tried one of them, I believe, which was a pretty good snack. Let me grab a few of them here. Check those out, perfectly round, really pretty color. When the light shines on them, they're almost translucent. You can almost see through them a little bit. Don't know a lot about this tomato. I'll look it up a little bit more online, and we will take you guys inside to do a taste test. This is the Dwarf Barossa Moon from the Dwarf Tomato Project. I believe Victory Seeds is where we got the seeds for this one from. We were really excited. I'm a sucker for cool names. These dwarf plants. When we grow tomatoes and peppers and other plants in our small container garden, we really just want to see things that are unique and grow something that's really cool. So one of the things that we look for is maybe heirlooms. I want to know that when I grow the plant as well, that the seeds are established. I think that's one of the reasons we don't grow the sun gold, is because the sun gold is a hybrid that when you grow from the seeds, it won't come out true to type. You have to grow a cross variety for 6 to 8 seasons probably before you would start to be able to say that that was the established variety. So this is established seeds from these Dwarf Tomato Project tomatoes, but they wouldn't be considered heirlooms because they haven't hit like the long range mark. But a sucker for a good cool name, cool looking tomato, strong disease resistant plant. Take you guys inside and take a closer look. Love you guys. Catch you in a second. All right, so this is the Dwarf Barossa Moon tomato. I looked it up. There's not a lot online by it. The seeds were established and it was sold on market in 2018. So this tomato is not very old, even though it's an established variety. It's way off of being something like an heirloom. But we like to grow things not necessarily just because of like cultural or heirloom reasons and stuff, but also because we just like to see cool stuff. And this shape in this is really cool. Right off the bat, it kind of gives me a little bit of a feel of a tomato that we had a while ago called the Garden Peach. The skin on this is really soft. It would tell me that it probably isn't a great one for storing on the counter. We've also noticed we got this one off, and this one is starting to split. Our weather this season has been really lots of rain and storms that have came through. And that might be a little bit on why it's over, but we noticed one off earlier too that we've already tried that was starting to split. So these might be a little bit prone to splitting. I just wanted to make note of that. We're going to go ahead and save the seeds on these ones though. Let me open up some of these. Me and Angel had one, and from what I remember, they were excellent, like a garden snack tomato. One that's got mild acidity and a really sweet flavor is what I liked about it. That almost has like a sugary aftertaste a little bit. I didn't like the taste of it at first. The inside's extremely juicy. And that might just be from over ripening and stuff like that. I want everybody to, I'm always going to try to remind everybody we're definitely not professionals. We're just a small family with a small container garden. We don't have a lot of resources and stuff. We just kind of like to sit down and grow as many unique things as we can and sit down and test them out. That is a really good tasting tomato though. I don't like the taste at first, but the aftertaste was really good. As a yard snack, the acidity felt low, but I'm not quite sure.
It is really good. Oh, that made my jaw clench a little bit. It has really great flavor. It doesn't seem like it's very high on the acidity level. It doesn't feel like it's super high in acids, but it has a really great flavor. I like it a lot. Actually, it is sweet. Um, it's got a little bit of that pucker. It made my jaw clench a little bit, but super yummy. I like it a lot.
That's how I felt too. The first taste was almost like, oh, it's going to be like a. I don't really like the yellow pear tomato. Some people like a little bit more of the sour flavor in tomatoes. I tend to not like that sour flavor as much.
It is really
But it
sweet.
seemed like it started with that and then it turned to sweet really, really quick. This would make a decent one for salsas and stuff like that, sweet salsas especially. But the tomatoes, it's not, it's kind of, I guess you'd consider it a cherry tomato. This one's starting to split too, right here. I can feel it on the back.
Yeah, it's a little bigger, almost like
And I don't know if they're
in
getting
between.
bloated by our uneven watering or,
Yeah, it's a big grape tomato. That's what I would call it.
yeah. And I like these, I would like personally, I always like yard snack tomatoes. That's one of my very favorite uses of tomatoes. If they don't make it indoors, that means it's a good tomato because as we go out there and we're gardening and we see one ripe, if you feel like you can eat it off the vine, you know what I mean? Some of them I just feel like they're meant to come inside, like a Cherokee purple tomato, some
Slice it
of
up.
the saucer tomatoes and stuff like that. They feel like they have a use, but like there's some types, the black cherry is a really good cherry tomato. It's our favorite.
Yeah,
Um, but we're looking for, since we have such a small yard, we really are interested in the Dwarf Tomato Project and the plants that they produce. Because people can grow these on a balcony. That plant was power producing tomatoes and it was pinned between two other heirloom indeterminates. So the plants will get to X amount of size. We got several more dwarfs that are producing tomatoes right now that we're going to try to show if we get time this year in our tester videos. I really like the flavor of this.
so do I.
If it was between the black cherry, the indigo rose, and this one, all three of them are excellent yard snack tomatoes. I feel like all three of them have a unique flavor too that's completely different than than each other.
Yeah,
Like if
definitely.
I go out there and I'm craving an indigo rose type flavor tomato, I just wouldn't be in the mood for the black cherry or this one. So they can all hold their own, and this one right here um, makes up for it. It's not super strong flavored, but it's definitely distinct. I can definitely taste like a sweet kind of back to it.
Yeah,
It's almost like there's a pucker, and you're like, oh gosh, this is one of the sour flavors of yellow that comes in a lot of tomatoes. This one, it just started with that, made it Angel's jaw clench. Mine, I can kind of sense it right at the beginning, and I was like, oh, this doesn't taste as good as I thought it was going to. Um, I can see how some people might not like this specific kind of flavor in a tomato. I feel like the different colors of tomatoes and different flavors that are in tomatoes really plays an effect on what might be your favorite, what might be our favorite when we're sitting and trying this and stuff like that. Some people might find this one bland. Some people's growing situation may be completely different, and they get a completely different flavor than we're kind of getting here. But I really, really like this one. This one would be out of the dwarfs that we've tried so far. It's been the banana toes in this one. The banana toes is an iffy regrow, but this one right here, we're definitely going to save the seeds on this one and try to regrow it.
yeah, it's a good one. I like it a lot. I would
And
recommend giving it a try. Something unique
I
and
understand
different.
it being our weathering situation, but I feel like these might be prone to popping too. When I was talking about it being like the garden peach tomato will have a soft, there one right there.
Yeah,
The garden peach has a soft shell, and this one feels like it doesn't have the fuzz of a garden peach tomato, but it does have the soft shell. So that's why it might not stay on the counter for very long or make a yards like a cherry tomato that you could pull off the vine and sit on the counter too long. It is the softness of the outer side is probably causing the splitting. So I don't think that's just us. I think that's kind of happening with the softer. So the Barossa Moon Dwarf tomato, and I'll catch you in a second for one last look. Love you guys. All right, so see this mass right here? These are dwarf tomato plants. These are indeterminates, and it is crowded right here, fighting for light. But look at all those tomatoes. Tons of tomatoes. This is a good producer. I really am not liking the splitting on them and the softer shell and the lack of keeping on the counter, but as a strong plant and a yard snack, just to pull off the vine and eat out in the yard, it's an excellent type. It started off kind of tart, but then it like really mellowed out and got sweet. A really good flavor on these. I like this. It says once again it was put on the market in only 2018, so probably not a lot out on this tomato yet. Look at that. Crowded. I had to thin a bunch of it out, of course, in order to kind of get to the point where we could even see them. But August 26th of 2022, the Dwarf Barossa Moon, and an excellent type. We'll catch you guys next time. Love you, and thanks for watching. All right, so this is the Dwarf Barossa Moon.